Welcome back to another episode of the Nodding Leaf. Sunny Peterborough, quite mild. Pond has been covered overnight as normal. We're leaving it on in the sunshine to see if we can raise some heat. So we're just basically experimenting. It's currently at 11.5 degrees. The greenhouse is at 20.5 degrees. I'm hoping that some of the greenhouse heat will transfer across. We shall see. Anyway, woke up this morning, went to B&Q, thought I'm going to grab myself a piece of wood. This piece of wood. Then I had a word who's got one of those Japanese sunrises on his fence and asked him what size it was, and his was 500 by 800. This piece of wood that I have is 600 by 1220, and it's just a shame to cut it, so I thought I'd do some drawing on it to see how we go. And then, after a lot of cutting and swearing and noise and dust, we get to this. So far so good. So the border is going to be 34 by 34, just to put some kind of frame around it, give it a bit of stability. So I'm going to be using that, and I've already drawn a line just to indicate where the border's going. I've cut my temple out, or my Japanese archway. Not the greatest cutting in the world, but I did use one of these McAllister multi-saw. Absolutely astonishing, makes life very easy. So this temple will sit round about there to create some kind of relief. Mount Fuji, I haven't figured that out yet. I'll get round to that when I've had something to eat. Can't think unless I've had something to eat. Anyway, so far so good. Morning, this is day 2 of the Japanese wooden board sunrise Mount Fuji. So what I've done is I've created some kind of texture to the top of the mountain. It's supposed to represent snow, but it's going to get painted white and a little bit of black detail. But this is where we are with that, and I've actually cut that down with the multi-tool to create a rough surface, and I think the white paint will pick out all that. And further to that, the pictures that I've seen, there's a lot of mountains, there's forests at the bottom, so using the same technique I've created this. So this will be dark green, light green, and as you can see it's going to create a shadow, so there's going to be like a 3D effect. Whether it works or not, I've no idea, but those people that know me, I do faff around, so stay tuned. So I've just built myself a frame, 34mm by 34mm, just to give it a little bit of strength. I've knocked some dowel through, glued it, and that will be screwed around the perimeter of that. So I've added, as you can see, a little bit of paint. I've also shaped the ends so it looks a little bit snow-capped, but I'm not sure yet. It might work. This is the 3D image of the trees. Again, it might work. And I've also painted the Japanese archway. So it's all work in progress. All right, up to now though, we'll see. Right, so this is day 3. That's the second coat of paint on the Japanese archway. Second coat of paint It does look a little blue, but trust me, it's green, sage green, and that's fencing paint. I've also built a frame out of 34mm by 34mm, painted that black, and yes, all the corners are square, just in case you're going to ask. So this is Mount Fuji, just gloss white. I've painted around the exterior, even though in some respects I didn't need to. Painted the cloud white, and then this little segment here, I need to cut that out tomorrow, so chase that out. It may or may not be seen because of the leg of the archway, but it's in the wrong place, it needs to come out. So happy days. So that's the end of day 3. Day 4 comes tomorrow. See what we can do. Thank you. And yet another little added extra. There was discussion over the water blade during the cold temperatures, whether that cold water will be drawing cold water into the bottom pond. So I had a little bit of a think, and bearing in mind I did some ramblings some time ago, and we tried to cut out the vase and the water blade from the top of the pond to the bottom of the pond, and we also had a valve that we never used, never thought we were going to use, but now we have. So what we've done now is completely cut out the top pond, so that now houses the goldfish only. So it's going to be a little bit messy, but if you can just see under the water, there's the valve and then a grey pipe, and the grey pipe goes directly into the corner. So basically the skimmer feeds the top pond. I've now connected a bypass directly to the valve which goes to the bottom pond, so there's no vase running, no water blade running, and that's a further attempt to get the temperature stabilised for when we get really cold weather, winter time. There is an afterthought with the fact that the vegetable filter will now not be operative, but is that going to make a difference if everything's just basically shut down? The fish are just going to the bottom, the biological side of the filters are just going to die off. I have no actual answer, but this is just purely experimental. So those people out there that are outraged, yeah, sorry about that. I'm experimenting, and this is a precursor to actually changing the pond anyway, so there won't be a vegetable filter. But there you go, the fish are still moving around, we're still feeding them wheat germ, covers are on, and the biological filter through the shower is still running. We'll just keep that running through winter, there's no reason to shut it off. So there we go. Catch you in the next instalment. Day 5, getting chillier. I've just checked the temperature under the polycarbonate sheets. No heating, but still holding 12 degrees, despite the fact that it's quite cold this morning. One question I want to put out there is, now that the pond is completely covered, do people still run their skimmers? And in my case, I've got a skimmer and a UV. So do you run your skimmer? Do you switch it off? Do you switch your UVs off? Just put in the comments that's my son texting me, sorry about that. Just put in the comments what you do as regard to UVs over winter. Let's have a quick look at how the wall art is doing. I'll just give you a brief update of how far we've got with materials. So when I actually did this wall art, I needed 34 by 34 standard softwood. I needed 12mm plywood. I needed 9mm plywood, some pillar box red Santex and some black Santex. They're 20 quid a tub, quite expensive. The gloss paint, I think that were about 25 quid. The fence paint, that was quite cheap. I'd had that for some time. These were 15 quid for 4 lengths, I beg your pardon. I think it was about 11 quid for the 9mm, 15 quid for the 12mm, and then you end up building something like this. So it's just a little bit of faffing around. Wondered if I could complete anything. I'm not the greatest painter in the world. That is supposed to be Mount Fuji and a bit of forest and a bit of 3D, and like on James's, whoever did that for James, they did a cracking job. And that's my temple archway. So that's my version of events. Not too certain where that's going to go. It might go over the pond or it might go in the summer room. Yeah, thanks for watching. I hope it might have inspired people to do something similar. I might have another go with something else. I've got plenty of spare wood left. See what I can come up with. Anyway, enjoy weekend, stay safe. Hopefully catch you next week, and after I have my shoulder operation, I'll try and do some video with my left hand, which is anything could happen. I could end up probably dropping the camera in the pond. But anyway, stay COVID free, stay safe, look after yourself. Bye bye.